Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into another Mancave101 podcast show reaction video. Today, we're going to be talking about The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 6. I got a lot to say. A lot to say. We are going to get into the entire episode, break it down for you, give you our thoughts. Before we get into it, let me introduce the guys. Live from the Man Cave, it's Kalo K, the Mama Wanna Godfather. Leo, what's happening?
Damn teenagers.
That I agree with you with.
I can't stand teenagers.
Damn teenagers is correct. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Big Chase. What's happening?
And listen, this episode should have been called "Fuck Them Kids."
I'm there. I'm there with you.
I also said it be your own damn kids too at one point. Be your own damn kids. So yeah, we're gonna get right on into The Last of Us season 2, episode 5. Listen, man. I don't know what it was. So in this episode, HBO decided to incorporate a lot, or I shouldn't say HBO, but you know, the writers of the show decided to incorporate a lot of their own. And I'm assuming the later we get into this thing, we're going to get a lot more creative direction from the people who are writing the show, because we're at the point now where they've already gone almost basically like halfway through, The Last of Us Part 2, the game. So they're going to start to sprinkle in their own little things here, especially depending on how many seasons they get to and this, that, and the other thing. We'll probably talk more about that on Thursday. But what I will say is the parts that the writers are incorporating, they're not really working for me. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I really don't want to, but like some of the stuff they're doing just isn't resonating with me. So I guess I want to start here. So the beginning of the episode, right? This is not from the game. That whole beginning part of the episode where it was Joel's dad and it was a traumatic flashback scene about how his dad used to beat him and Tommy all the time, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. So basically you're starting the whole passing down generational trauma thing in the show. Okay. I get it. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. By the way, I did want to mention the guy who plays Joel's dad. I forget his name off the top of my head, but just so you know, I mentioned this in the last video. Naughty Dog does this. He's also in their new upcoming Intergalactic game as a character, like they did with Nora in the last episode. He's also in Intergalactic as well, so they tend to like incorporate their projects. So he's going to be in it as well. So I think the one part that really resonated with me about that whole scene, I got the whole passing down generational trauma, but it was when his dad was talking to him and like popped a beer open with him and had like a real conversation, like, because that's if you're a parent, you kind of know how that conversation goes. The man conversation, you know what I'm saying? And then like you see the watch on his wrist and you're like, okay, so now you know why Joel wears the watch.
The watch, exactly.
Yeah,
so did that happen in the game? Conversation.
That's a completely Max different. Wrote that. Yeah, Max wrote that. That was
because I was like, okay, I understand passing down the generational trauma, but the problem is Joel treated his daughter like in the first season. He treated her in that first episode. He adored her. Mm-hmm. He actually listened more to his daughter than to himself.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, he already broke that whatever generational curse that he had with his father. He already broke it with his own daughter and his brother, because he's always been a protector. That's what I think they were going with it. That he's always been a protector. Okay, dad's gonna come home all fucking pissed off. I'm the one's gonna take the ass whooping, not you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
So that makes him. So that basically builds him up into this show. As okay, now we know why he's such a protector.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I think part of that whole beginning scene is reminding you that like at the end of the day, like Joel, like, and we're gonna get more into this as we get to the other new thing that they incorporated from not from the game. So like it's just that Joel's just gonna do what he thinks is right. Whether you think that's morally right or wrong, it's what he thinks is right, and that's what he's gonna do at the end of the day. Like that's who he was as a person. He did the same thing with his kid. He does the same thing with Ellie. And that's who he is as a person. So that's just his character. And if you don't resonate with that, That's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But like we're gonna get more into that in a minute. But also I wanted to talk about a couple of the good things that the show did. There were a lot of tie-ins to the game, including like I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a flashback scene with the cassette tapes in Ellie's room, and it was the tape was "Take on Me," which she sang to Dina.
Right.
Previous
Right.
episodes ago. So there were like some, and the guitar had like the symbol on it. It's
Right.
directly from the game. That's the
Now
guitar that Joel gave her.
this is the one with her first birthday, right?
Yes.
So as a father, that resonated with me.
Of course, yeah, of course. There's going to be parts of this that resonate with you, 100%.
Because it's the end of the fucking world, and you still find time to find things that a kid is not even biologically yours, but you care about so much that you get her a birthday cake with a fucked up name on it.
Yeah,
which explains a lot of shit that he's a dick from a couple episodes back. Watching you happy birthday, Eli. And I'm like, shit, all right, okay, so we got that part.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts. But then he it's like he does everything to spend time with her. And that made me piss me off more about Ellie. Like, yo, this man found a fucking museum for you, found you a T-Rex, and you love space shit, and he put you in a fucking capsule.
And then when she goes to, I don't know if you remember, but she goes to crank the solar system to go around. Yeah. And she was like, oh, it still works. And he was like, well, somebody greased it. You're like, this guy's like doing everything he can to give you a good fucking birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing everything he can in a post-apocalyptic world to give you a good birthday.
And where the fuck did he find a countdown fucking tape?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
How the fuck did you find that shit?
That whole scene is directly from the game, by the way. The museum scene.
Oh, that is all the game.
That whole thing is from the game. Yeah.
No wonder I liked it. Fucking that was good.
It's one-to-one from the game. Yeah. So, it was good. They didn't change any dialogue or anything. Even it was pretty much one-to-one. I had no issues with that. Here's where I'm gonna get into the bullshit. Okay, I'm just gonna call it. This is the part to me that just took me out of the fucking episode completely, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why. So the Eugene character, the one who when Ellie and Joel go on patrol and they, he takes her he takes her out on patrol for the first time, and he's like, we're gonna be careful. We're gonna go on the easiest patrol trail, and I'm just gonna get you used to it. Again, he's showing he's a protector, right? I don't want you to be in any imminent danger, so I'm gonna take you on the slow trail. And then they get a call that Eugene and whoever else was out there with him got jumped by freaking runners or whatever, so they have to go save him, and she's all like, just let me use the gun, and they have a little back and forth banter, right? So they run into Eugene, and Eugene lifts up his shirt and says that he's been fucking bit. He shows that he's been bit, and Joel immediately goes on the defense and points his gun at him. That's the right thing to fucking do. Sorry, it's the right. You show me you got bit, I'm pointing my fucking gun at you as well.
I wouldn't have no dialogue with your ass. You got bit? I told you loved her. Pow!
Now I know. Listen, I understand. Ellie did that whole thing where she made him do something with his hands.
He counted down.
Yeah, count down. But there's something about when the runners, when they start to turn, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when they start to turn, they get like really fucking twitchy.
Oh, okay.
So that's why she had him hold his hand out and like start to go like this, because if he would have started to like twinge, she would have shot him. That was her whole thing. So that was why she did that. But like, my whole thing was Ellie was trying to be the good guy and say, oh, we'll just walk him back and he can say bye to Gail, because that's all he wants to do. He's begging, I want to see my wife before I die. I'm sorry. I wholeheartedly agree with Joel. You're not getting on horseback with me after you've been fucking bitten. Because if you turn and I don't realize, you're going to bite me on the back of my fucking neck. So I'm not riding with horseback on you. There's no fucking way. And I know maybe that they could have had him ride back with Ellie because she's immune or whatever. And if she bit him, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. She wouldn't have died. And this, that, and the other thing. I think that's what Ellie wanted to kind of do. But at the same point in time, this is what I mean by the whole like, oh, It be your own damn kids. So I don't agree with this. Joel goes back and lies to Gale about everything that just happened once he pulls the trigger. By the way, sentimental scene. Runs him out to the water, gives him a good scene, then shoots him in the fucking head. That's nicer than I would have been. Sorry. Like, that's nicer
right
than
there. We got.
I'm shooting you. There's no fucking way. I'm not playing this game. But he was nice enough to do that. Walked a little bit, gave him a nice fucking scenery. Fantastic. Take it all in. Bow. Goodbye. Have a good life. It is what it is. You had a good one, bro. But like, you know, Joel starts to tell Gale this whole story about how, like, you know, I don't know. Like, I can't even remember because I was so infuriated at that point.
He died in honor, protecting.
Yeah, he died in honor, and he starts bullshitting with them.
He said, tell her that she loved you. He told me to tell you that he loved you, blah, 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 blah.
And then this little bitch turns to Gale and goes, nah, he's fucking lying. He's fucking lying. I have never, bro. I would have turned around and been like, what the fuck did you just say? I was like, bitch. I sat up and I was like, bitch, what did you just say? You ratted me out in 2 seconds.
We could never take your ass to a fucking jail. We'd never do a crime with you.
And that's what I mean by it be your own damn kids. Right under the bus. Right under the bus. Didn't even give him 5 seconds.
Okay.
Like, fuck, man.
So let me say this though. In Ellie's defense of this, I agree to a point that you know Joel did what he was supposed to do. I think that the problem here is that there is now a trust between them that's supposed to happen. Up until last season, the end of last season, he always told her the raw truth about whatever. Like, this is what it is. He didn't care. Ever since he started to have this bond with her, he's like lying, trying to protect her. Exactly. And this is where it's just going wrong, because now she's starting to feel like if you're lying to me, then that means I can't trust you. And then you gave me your word and you lied to me. So now, you know, the trust thing is just spiraling to the ground. So by the time he gets there and he's talking to her, she's just like, I don't even fucking know who you are. Like, you literally got in front of this person and told this lie like it was real. And now, you know, she's just like, fuck this. Like, he's lying. That's not what happened. I can't lie. I was laughing my ass off because I know Joel at that point just wanted to take a shit on the floor.
Yeah, but the thing is also, you also got to remember, before they went on patrol, she was trying to find out what happened to her. She wrote up a whole fucking note of trying to find out, actually trying to have her thoughts in order to ask Joel what happened to the Fireflies.
Yeah.
So she's asking the questions like, I know you're lying to me, motherfucker. Tell me what the fuck happened.
Yeah, because this is what I'm saying. Like, she's already weighing the balance. Like, some things don't add up, and now it's like he just and these ain't little lies. Like, he's making big ass lies, like bomb. So now she's really like, oh, wait a minute, bro.
So again, I want to mention this before we continue this conversation. Another part that cracked me up was the first part when they both started writing the initial like when he took her out for the first time, right, to ride the patrol or whatever, right? Are you raising your hand because you want to talk?
Go.
He looked at her and he was like trying to have a little like birds and bees conversation with her, and she immediately said, "Oh, you want to talk about tits and vagina?" And then he stumbled in the horse. He was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, it's such a parent thing to do, to like be like, "Oh my god," she said, "Tits and vagina." Like, yeah, I was like, "Oh damn!" Like that's a me, because I'd be like, "Whoa, what the fuck? Why do you? Okay, we're just gonna come right out the gate with it, huh? All right, I guess."
She's going for strictly shock value at that point, because
I know
you're not going to play with me like I'm a kid. I already don't believe, you know, what comes out of your mouth. So now it's like any opportunity to throw you off, we going for it. Because now I can feel that you're trying to hold shit back, or, you know, put shit in a certain light. So now every time you say something that just triggers me, I'm just going to be like, yo, what's the rawest shit I could just say?
And then, go ahead.
But after she tells her, the therapist, I need you to fucking go. I need you to fucking leave, Joel.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see Tommy looking at him like, motherfucker. You got me hugging this old lady, hugging me now because you lied your ass off. What the fuck wrong with you?
Well, that's also that goes like Tommy loves Joel, but he also knows like in the game they have a strenuous relationship as well. That's why Joel doesn't start in Jackson. That's why he's out on his own to start the game. You know what I'm saying? So like him and Tommy aren't always on the best of terms, but they're brothers, so they make it fucking work. That's I feel like Max didn't maybe explore enough of that for me. They could have done a little more but you know, neither here nor there. It is what it is. So the scene that everybody seems to be talking about, because to me it actually almost saved the episode. I was already taken out at that point. That whole scene kind of pissed me off with the whole originality with Eugene. I don't know why. It just made me mad. Like I was just sitting there like, I think what made me mad is that it made Joel look worse. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. It made him look worse than it did in the game. Because in the game, he's already a liar. He lied to her about everything that happened with the Fireflies already, right? So you're like, now you double down and you're like, no, this dude's just a pathological liar who does what he wants when he wants because what he thinks is right. So it's like a double down that he's like a bad guy. And like at the end of the day, like again, we're gonna get into this last like phase here. I don't really think and maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe people disagree. I don't think Joel is a bad guy. I think he does what he feels he has to do for the people he loves. And if that makes him a bad guy, then he's willing to fall on the sword and be like, fuck it, I'm the bad guy. It is what it is. But I did what I thought the fuck was right because I wanted to. And he says it to her. They have a whole argument back and forth. This whole by the way, the dialogue is fantastic between Ellie and Joel on the porch. That whole dialogue is fantastic. That
was needed. That was needed. I was like, you remember when she walked by? I was like, this little bitch. What the fuck you walking by? I thought just what happened.
So literally that dialogue straight from the game, directly from the game, the whole thing, even like sentence to sentence, directly from the game.
Oh shit! Okay.
But the difference is in the game, part 2, they show that dialogue after you like have already got to almost the conclusion of part 2 of the game. So this dialogue in the show comes super early compared to when you see it in the game. So like what I will say though, that whole dialogue back and forth is literally the teenage parent and son, or I'm sorry, the teenage parent and child relationship. Oh, you lie to me because you're selfish. No, I do it because I fucking love you. That's why, because I love you. I did what I felt was right because I love you. And then he literally doubles down and says, until you have a kid of your own, I can't tell you how much I've heard this growing up my whole life. Until you have a kid of your own, you will never know how the fuck it feels. and I still resonates with me because like facts. You're not going to know until you want to protect that thing with every ounce of your being, even if it might hurt you or them in some way capacity. If you think it's protecting them, you're going to want to fucking do it.
9 times out of 10 is going to be hurting somebody else.
Right. That's
so.
But
this is the thing that he's selfish in a loving way.
Exactly. He's literally saying everything I've done for you to protect you.
Because the selfish part is it because you could have cured the whole world, and he was the only person that could have done it. That's the selfish part about it.
Exactly.
But his love is not going to let him because he thinks he believes that he's treating you like a daughter. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to lose another one by him just standing there and not doing nothing about it. No parent would just say, "Oh, here, take my child willingly, and I'm not going to never get him back." No parent on this face on this earth will ever do that. He would rather let the earth burn down before they give up their child.
Right. The problem we have here is, it's a change in skew. When you started, she wanted to connect, and he didn't want to connect, and now that he wants to connect, she doesn't want to connect because. Let's not forget, Ellie's not his kid. Exactly. And when she starts to look at him as a parent, she realizes that she can't trust him as a parent. So now this is where she's telling him, "I'm not your fucking kid," and whatnot. Because now
that ripped my fucking heart out.
We got to go on a whole separate thing because you did some shit and I'm questioning it, and now you're just making me feel like I can't trust you. So this is where a lot of her pushback is coming from. And he's so afraid to tell the truth that he like just keeps ignoring this factor. And this is where the point of contention is happening between them and whatnot. And she's at this point prepared to just kind of go on her own and be, grown to a degree, because she feels like there's no security there. As a family, as a parent, there's no security there. She's kind of just out there and whatnot, and doing whatever she feels is necessary for her to survive, which he taught her.
Yep.
So,
but the thing is it's when that first scene when the first scene where you get to see the playback and her walking back into the room and she coming back, I was like, oh fucking finally they did have a fucking conversation, because I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that conversation on the porch. I was like, oh fuck, finally we get some fucking closure to this shit, because I knew something had to happen. If she didn't have that much of a fucking heart, just because, and you don't even know if he lied to you about the Fireflies yet, how the fuck are you taking that? Because I missed that day when you played that in the game. I missed that. So I was like, fuck, there has to be a dialogue there. I'm fucking happy that there was.
Yeah.
And him playing the guitar and all that other stuff. I was like, okay, I understand it. And the whole teenage angst with the fucking room and the tattoo and all that other shit. And it's all about teenage. Okay, when they're young, they love you, blah, 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 blah. When they're a teenager, they're fucking assholes. And and then once you're gone, you realize what you fucking had.
Yeah.
And you're too late.
Yeah.
It's just literally a life story. It's just basically all it is life.
Yep.
So and now that she had that conversation with him, the episode ends right there, right?
Yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And like this is what I meant, right? So like, the writers tried to. This is how I took it, at least, right? So like, they ended Joel with like the two things, right? So the first one was like, basically, I think her again. I don't know the dialogue verbatim, but it's something like, I'd like to rebuild this relationship. Like he basically says, like, I'd like to try to rebuild this relationship. And, he's like, yeah, I'd like to try. And she's like, I'd like to try too. And then they go their separate ways. And then after that is when Joel gets killed. So it's like a whole ironic, like they're trying to rebuild their relationship and then Joel dies.
Right. Okay. So they're doing that before, they're doing that after he dies. And they're showing it to the, okay.
Yeah. So that's the whole dynamic, is she was trying to like rebuild her trust in him and then he fucking dies. So it's like a tragedy for her, and that's why she gets so bent out of shape and goes after Abby because of it.
We actually did get to see one more fucking clobber on the fucking what's her face in this episode, when she came out of the room before they did the flashback, when she was beating the shit out of her with the pipe, the chick with the pipe.
Oh yeah.
We did get to see one more smack.
Yeah, we did. Also, what I was gonna say is, when he says that whole line about like, oh, until you have a child one day, like that's reharping on from episode 4, the I'm gonna be a dad. Right, that's why they made that creative decision to harp on, hey, Joel said if you ever have a kid, you'll know what it's like. And then it's Ellie being like, well, now I'm gonna have a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to connect I get what they're doing. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like,
they're doing it in a different way.
They're doing it in a different way, and it's throwing me the fuck off because some of it's not resonating with me. I'm just like, bro. Like
for me, when I see these types of episodes, to be honest, I feel like they ran out of budget. And it's like, okay, we only have XYZ amount of episodes. How do we tie this story together? So, okay, fine. This was not a great episode for me. Obviously it shines some light on some things. But now I expect the rest of these episodes to be pure fucking fire. I want to see hordes and hordes of.
There's one episode left in the season.
Well, like I said,
one
I
episode
want to see the rest of the season better be fucking better light my fire, because the rest of this right here, these last 2 or 3 episodes, ain't it, buddy?
What I will say is there was a little sneak peek of next week's episode.
Oh yeah,
and I'm a spoiler for everybody. I don't give a fuck, because if you know the game, you know the game. Your boy Jesse is fucking dead. He's dead as a fucking doornail. He saved the day, and now his ass is dead.
Yeah,
and And it ain't gonna be pretty. If they do it like the game, it ain't gonna be fucking pretty either.
There's gonna be consequences in this motherfucker
So,
right here.
So I'm gonna go on a limb and say this, right? A lot of stuff to me isn't resonated for me with the season, but I think what Max is gonna do is leave you on just enough of a good cliffhanger, and I think more than one person eats it in this episode. I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna see Jesse and probably one or two of Abby's friends in this next episode. I'm pretty sure.
Come on, Dana.
Pretty sure.
Will somebody please pour barbecue sauce on Dana?
Shit. Then I had an arrow in her fucking leg. She ain't going nowhere but staying in that library.
And not letting her go anywhere now. She got an arrow in the leg.
Somebody open the door, let infected.
So I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 2 of Abby's friends die, Jesse dies, and then that leads into the next season, which is where we're gonna get Tommy's rampage, a lot more bloody death gore scenes, I would hope. I mean, that's just what I'm seeing. It's my assumption is they're going to kill off one because Abby has a lot of different friends that were with her. Nora's the only one we've seen get it so far, right?
She had 4 of them, right? It was 5. It was 5 of them.
It was more than that. It was more like 6. And in the game, Ellie takes down most of them consecutively. So like as you go on missions, you catch like 1 or 2 of them and they die, and then you go on another mission, you catch 1 or 2 and they die, and then by the time Abby gets back to her, it's like, you killed my fucking friends, and like now I'm here to take out your fucking people, and then it becomes a whole back and forth script. I'm very interested to see how Max is going to handle it. I'm going to watch it because I'm this invested, right? But like at the same point in time, some of these episodes are just lackluster for me, and I kind of know. Listen, it's story, it's filler. I get this, that, and the other thing, but I kind of need them to show me. They're like kicking back a little bit on the violence of it, and I hate to say it because it's going to make us sound like, oh, you guys only like it for the gore and the death. I mean, like that's the shit that we like, right?
That's the game.
But that's the game is literally bloody and gory, and it's you know, sure, it's a love story and it has other elements and a father-daughter relationship, but those things also come with bashing people's skulls in with a pipe and getting stabbed in the neck and infected and people getting shot with crossbows and bullets through the fucking face. Like that's in there too. Sorry, don't scale back on the other shit just to harp on the good shit, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's been my biggest gripe this whole time. I want to see both. I need more. God damn it.
The thing is that you play the game multiple times, so you already know the story. So it's like, for me, the season's still good for me. But the thing is that I, like you guys are saying, I do need to see. We should have seen more violence from her with her in the pipe. We should see more violence. Hopefully they knock it up for the last episode this week. Hopefully they knock it up for the season finale. You know what I mean? For a fucking good send off to keep us on the hook for the next 2 years.
They're gonna give you enough to want to bring you back for a third season. They're definitely going to.
Because it's gonna take 1 or 2 seasons more to finish this shit off.
It's gonna take a while, but
I just don't want a lot of fucking novela.
That's where I'm at, bro. I'm like, oh my god, it's been enough with this shit. I'm just like, ugh. But you know, I don't know. Any final thoughts before we close out The Last of Us season 2, episode 6, season finale next week?
Man, this shit better be. Listen, I want to see a full invasion. I want to see motherfuckers running everywhere, screaming like Godzilla came to Japan. I want to see this shit popping. This better not be some lackluster shit.
Bro, my high of this season was that whole chase scene in the snow with all the infected, and oh my god, that whole thing, they're like the endorphins are right there. She's screaming, you know, like that whole scene was chaos, and then it's slowed to a tortoise pace at some parts, and you're just like, oh, bro. Come on, like you got to give me a little something to keep me on the hook here. It doesn't have to be blood and guts every fucking second, but you got to give me something. You know
sure, it does. Who said that? Sure, it does. It's got to be.
I don't know, man.
What we came here for.
I don't know. And the one thing that I will say before we get out of here, I just want to say this because I feel like there's a lot of turmoil on the internet with the show right now, and I feel like a lot of it is like, you know, oh my God, Bella Ramsey, blah blah blah, this that, and the other. I will say this: I don't blame an actress or an actor for anything that goes on in a show, and most of the time I will say that, right? But like Bella Ramsey is a good actress. You saw that in Game of Thrones. To me, I don't blame her for like how this is going. I blame the writers for anything that's like a pace snag. I don't blame her. She's cool. I have no issues with Bella Ramsey in terms of like she's cool. Like maybe a lot of people didn't like her as Ellie. She doesn't look like Ellie. She doesn't have freckles, blah, blah, whatever. I think she's doing a fine job. I just think the way they're writing her is just very like
they're not sticking with the story. They're not sticking with the pace of the game.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Pretty much.
So they're going forward, then they're going back, then they're going forward again, and they're going back. And I understand the game has a lot of flashbacks.
It does.
And they're putting the flashbacks all in one episode. That's what made this episode slow.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, but like I said, I understand that, it definitely shed some light because from the beginning we didn't understand why she was so angry with him. Yeah. So I get how they did it, but I probably would have not minded so much had the last couple of ever since Joel got killed, this shit's just on a fucking decline for me. So I'm like, if they'd have made the last episode even half of what it was when before that, I probably wouldn't have minded so much.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just going down, and now you're leading up. The finale, the last episode before the finale is supposed to be the setup for the big finale. So this episode was supposed to be it. It was not.
It kind of did set up the finale, though. She was walking back into the hospital again.
Nah, bro. I'm supposed to be like, oh my God, I can't wait till next fucking week. Now I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but the preview was actually dope.
The preview did have some good action.
I never watched the previews because I don't want to know.
You don't want to know? Yeah,
I don't want to know.
I mean, I think that the finale could be dope. I expect more action in the finale for sure, like 100%. So
we saw, the preview for the finale was actually pretty good.
Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. And we'll see what next week brings. Obviously, we're gonna have a lot to say about the finale. So you guys catch us next week talking about episode 7 of season 2, The Last of Us on Max. Before we get out of here, I'll let you guys with a quick spiel. Your boys are over 2,800 subscribers here on YouTube. We appreciate the love and support in our recent videos. But as I always say, these bills do not pay themselves. So please continue to tell a friend to tell a friend. Click the like and subscribe button down below. It's free for you guys. Helps us out more than you will ever know. While you're down in the comment section near the description, you guys should consider checking out a couple of our links. The first one is to become a channel member, aka a hothead. For just $2.99 a month, you get priority comments in the comment section of our podcast. Talk more about that in a minute. You can spam some emotes. There's one in there that makes Leo drink. It's part of his contract. Don't even worry about any face you're seeing over there. You guys could also join our Discord channel if you want to run some Marvel Rivals with us, or just talk some shit, see what's going on in the world, any of that. If you do decide to game with us, you play Marvel Rivals with me, I apologize in advance if I curse at you or say anything negative. That's my personality. When I game, I turn into a different human being. I apologize for that. I am the Rager. There's t-shirts about it. That's what it is. So speaking of merch in regards to that, you guys should consider checking out the merch shop, aka Mancave101.org. Spring and summer is upon us. T-shirt season, all that, hydration season. You guys should consider checking out some of the designs we got in there. Very dope. I'm gonna let Chase talk more about the designs because every time I try to sneak a peek, the art department boots me out. They don't want me to see what's going on, so I'm gonna let him talk more about it.
Yeah, I've been trying to work that thing out, but they don't seem to want to talk to you, bro. Like, I don't know what you did in there or whatever have you, but
I think they gamed with me at one point, and then that was it. Like they're like,
it's probably the raging thing, man. The raging thing gets a little crazy with you. I gotta admit that.
It's fair.
So listen, man, Mancave101.org is our merch shop. It's our swag shop, man. Go get you some t-shirts, some hats. We got drinkware for the summertime. All kinds of different designs, man. We want you to be out there. Show out your nerd side, look cool as hell. People will be, yo, what's that? Where'd you get that? Tell them Mancave101.org is where you shop, where you go buy all your swag from. My big guys like myself, if you're like me, Leo, Aaron, you don't want your belly button to be out this summer. That's not cool, bro. We go all the way up to 5X on our designs. Your shirt will not be this big, and the image will be that big. We don't want you out there looking like that. We want you to look cool, match your new J's, whatever you kind of sneaker, whatever you wear. We got all kinds of stuff on here. So please, please, please cop something so we can pay these bills. Otherwise, we may not be here, and it'll be your fault. So buy 2 things. And we thank you in advance for it.
So yeah, be sure to check that out. I mentioned our podcast briefly a few moments ago. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys can catch us live streaming right here on YouTube as well as Facebook and Instagram. We bring you all your nerdy news and goodness of the week. If you guys would like to catch the playback or you're an audio listener, you can catch it on Spotify and or Apple Podcast. If you could leave a nice review over there, 5 stars is obviously preferable, but anything you got to say it with your chest. And that's all I got. Hopefully the season finale brings me some joy. And that's all I got to say about that. Till next week. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Ellie, go kick some ass.
Real, please.
Yo, man, could somebody unlock the back door for Dina? Just one bite, bro.
Leave my hawk girl alone.